Yes, it's really all about like drilling and drilling.
Is it?
If the weather's good, yeah, we can go and do our work down at the beach. We don't have to stay in the classroom.
What?
How does your public exam prepare you for the future?
Perhaps stress management is
What the f? There's a myth that students in Asia do much better academically compared with students in the West. Is that even true? You think schools are just schools? You are wrong. Today I'm going to react to videos of classrooms in the West and classrooms in Asia. They're totally on different planets. In the age of AI, what kind of education do our kids need? You'll get more clues at the end of the video. Welcome back, German Pandas. I'm Eric from Hong Kong. I lived in Canada, in the UK, in mainland China, and now in Germany. I've dated more than 50 girls from around the world, including Russians, Ukrainians, Colombians, you name it. At work, I work in sales, in finance, in IT transformations, and in innovation. If you're intrigued by the funny dating stories of an Asian guy dating 50 girls from around the world, or the super cool culture shock stories working in the West, click the subscribe button now. Today I'm going to react to videos about classrooms in Europe and in Asia, particularly Hong Kong. So I'm going to look into three perspectives. First one, about the vibe/atmosphere and the attitude in general. Second, about the student experience. Third, whether they are learning AI-proof skills or not. So let's watch until the end to find out. Part 1. Vibe, attitude/atmosphere. Let's start with something easier and lighter. Let's look at the video. Wow, bowing to the teacher before and after each lesson. This is definitely not going to happen in Germany. Let's look at the next video.
朋友仔咧多唔多人咁樣着㗎？
喺大陸嗰邊會多啲，
喺邊間學校好靚喎？
聖保羅
鞋係一樣㗎？
熊貓鞋咧黑白呢對。
Wow. So, obviously there are many different kinds of uniforms for schools in Hong Kong. How does it compare with Germany?
I have my last period with younger German students, and most of them are like 11 years old, so they are 5th grade. And
Well, it's pretty obvious they're not wearing uniforms, and even I see some of them wearing tube tops, and they're around 11 years old. So it's pretty casual and chill. How about the UK? Let's have a look in a primary school in the UK.
My name is Holly and I'm the class teacher at Dover Primary School.
Well, it's pretty obvious from this video, you can see that they were wearing uniforms, but they are a bit more casual than in Hong Kong. Second part, how about the experience of the students? One indicator is the number of students in one class. Let's look at this video in Hong Kong.
What is the root word in unforgettable? Forget, yes. So what is it?
Well, it's pretty obvious that the class is much bigger. In fact, even though I went to a very elite school in Hong Kong, not an international school, it was 45% in one class. Let's look at the UK. Some fancy private schools, which have the confusing name of public school. But there's a separate video to talk about. Let's have a look now.
Rebecca Tier, it's utterly important that the girls feel safe and comfortable. It makes the teaching.
Well, obviously the teacher to student ratio here is much lower. My personal experience in a private school in the UK is that we have maximum 12 students to one teacher. In many cases, it would be only 5 or 6 of us. That's totally another world comparing Hong Kong. Okay, the last one was a little bit extreme. Let's look at a more normal school in Germany. How many people do they have?
gymnasium. And gymnasium is that you go to college afterwards. And then
So you can see that on average there are 20 to 25 students in one class, which is more attainable than 45 or 10 students. The other part of the student experience is about the stress level or the lack of it. Let's have a look at this video.
How does your public exam prepare you for the future?
perhaps stress management is
That's very sad. Stress management should not be the skills you should be learning at school. I had this experience up close and personal. I prepared my public exam in Hong Kong and I felt every single day I wanted to throw up because of the stress. So this is no exaggeration. How about the situation in England? Let's have a look at this video.
You know, when I was at school, many, many years ago. We didn't even have homework in primary school. You know, I know. And they look at me like, what?
I mean, Hong Kongers or Asians would be astonished that there were no homework. And she's from England, so you can see the difference in terms of stress level. By the way, 90% of you have not subscribed to the channel. The subscribe button is for free, and you cannot imagine how big of a difference it could make to us. Thank you again, and please smash the subscribe button now. The last but not least, AI-proof skills. Are we learning them in the school? Let's have a look here.
So when I came up with this exercise, I tried to fill it with stuff that I thought the kids would absolutely disagree with. So statements like, everyone in Harry Potter is forgettable, or nothing pleases me about Disney movies. That didn't quite work out as I expected.
Well, that's very typical Asian students, right? Teacher tell you something, you just absorb it and agree with it. Just like your boss or your parents. You never disagree with them or have critical thinking. And this is the point. The problem with Asian students comparing with the West is that we don't have critical thinking too much. So we are being told something and we accept them and memorize them. My point is, in the world of AI, they can do much better than a human being in terms of memorizing something or working very hard. So the key differentiator is to have creativity and critical thinking. That's why I'm looking at how the schools in Hong Kong or Asia compare with Europe. I have to admit that it's a little bit difficult to find videos about critical thinking in European schools. However, I have this video and I use my personal story to illustrate that.
First, right? And then you both go and get goggles.
Obviously, this is a chemistry laboratory. My story is, when I studied in Hong Kong, I did very well in chemistry on paper. But when I came to Europe, in the UK, I was doing experiments. And I didn't know how to switch off the valve of a titration to stop the fluid. In Hong Kong, we learned switch it perpendicular to the flow of the fluid. But in the UK, when I actually need to do it, I didn't remember because I never did it in person. I just learned it on paper. The point I want to make is, in the world of AI, more important than ever, you should learn skills that are practical for real life, rather than learn them in theory. And this is the key differentiator between European and Asian schools. To wrap it up, what's my opinion about classrooms in Europe and in Asia? First point, vibe and attitude. In Hong Kong, obviously it's very official, very formal, and very disciplined. And in Europe, it's much casual. People are very casual and more conversational. Second point, experience of the students. In Hong Kong, you have 45 students in one class, which I personally knew that you don't have enough support and attention. Also, the stress level is crazy. I experienced that firsthand. I almost run the floor every single day. And in Europe, obviously there's almost no homework. The classes are much smaller, especially if you're in private schools. Even public schools will be half the size of that Hong Kong. And stress level is much lower. Last but not least, AI-proof skills. Hong Kong, we are about memorizing, obeying, but in the West, we talk about critical thinking and practical skills. Sure, Hong Kong students can still ace in math, but in an AI world, how you think matters more than what you memorize. Which system would you choose for your kids? European system or the Asian system? Let me know in the comments below. Remember, like and subscribe for more East versus West comparisons. See you next time.